Yeah, so welcome to iOS Institute of Scholars YouTube channel on how to use SPSS. So if you find this video useful to you, please kindly subscribe to our channel after watching this video. So what we want to do now is we want to work on our output window view where we are going to have the display of our analysis, both inferential and descriptive analysis. Now, what we are seeing on my screen is the input window view where we have the data view and the variable view. This is an aspect of SPSS that involves coding, whereby you have to code the responses of your respondents and whereby you have to insert the variable in your questionnaire. So in this input window view, although I've explained this to my students, those that are registered with Institute of Scholars for the advanced class on data analysis, but very soon I'm going to do a short video of how you can code on SPSS on input window view in our next video. So now, in the input window view, we have some properties and some elements in input window view, whereby we have um we have um title bar, status bar, menu bar, and so on and so forth. Then under this input window view, this page you are seeing is called data view. This page you are seeing is called data view. And the other page we call it variable view. Variable view where we have the variables or the questions involved in your questionnaire. So looking at this variable view now, um, sorry, the student online, please mute your mic, please. I don't know if you can hear me. The mic is on mute. So I'm sorry about that. So under the variable view, these are the question in your these are the questions you construct on your questionnaire, whereby if we look at this, we have A1, B1, and we have C, and we even have D. That stands for representation of each questions. And the A1 here means we have section A, and the B1 here means we have section B, and the C that we have means the question under section C, and D means the question under section D. But we are not going into that today. What we are going to do is the analysis of both descriptive and inferential statistics when we are using primary data. So now, I'm showing you this page, which is for the variable view under the status bar. Then I can even click on data view. You can see where my cursor is. If you click on this, it's going to show you the data view, which is stand for the responses of each individual or each person you administer your questionnaire to. So now we are now moving to how we can analyze using both descriptive and inferential. Now here is one of our Sux functions, whereby the first place it goes to, you click on your analysis. Once you have coded all the necessary things and you have the necessary information under your variable view. So the next thing is for you to go to the analysis. Please just look at where my cursor is going to. So you can see that this is analyze. So you click on this analyze. Once you click on this analyze, you have this information sent to you. You see the various information. But what we are dealing with here is we want to look at the how to analyze using descriptive and inferential. So this is where my cursor is going to see. You can see that my cursor is under descriptive statistics. So under descriptive statistics, to go deeper, you will see that we have frequency, we have descriptives, we have explore, we have crosstab, we have top analysis, we have ratio, and so on. So what we have interesting here, you can see that we have another descriptive under descriptive statistics, and we have frequency under descriptive statistics. Now, in this aspect, we are dealing with primary data, whereby the best for us to use is to use frequency. So we can only use descriptive analysis, which of the second one that my cursor is on it, when we are dealing with secondary data. But here, the issue we are dealing with here is the primary data, whereby we have to choose frequency. So we prefer to use frequency for the descriptive statistics for our secondary data. But in the case we are dealing with primary data, and so sorry, in the case we are dealing with secondary data, you use descriptive of this one, where you are going to derive your mean, median, mode, and standard deviation. But in the case of primary data, you are using the frequencies. So now, since the question we code on our input view is the primary data, so I'm going to click on frequencies. Now, clicking on frequencies is it's brought out another page for me. And having this page, now for descriptive, we can only use descriptive for personal information or demography information, which always been in section A of your questionnaire. Personal information means when you are trying to get a personal details of the respondent, such as age. So I will need to export the variable from this questionnaire to this place. So you can see one arrow that shows as an export. So my um my cursor is on age, which is under descriptive, which is under the demography information. So I'll just click on this arrow to export it. You can see. Then the next one is gender, which is demographic information. I'll click on it. Then the next one is marital status. I'll click on it. Then population, higher education, average income. Now, these are the demographic information I have. The other or the other information are for the variable involved in the questionnaires, which are both dependent and independent variable. But I need the one that are based on the personal information of the respondents to analyze using descriptive. So here, this is what we have here now. So display, you see, I click on display descriptive statistics. Let's look at if you want to use charts. If you want to use charts, okay, let's look at the properties of these elements here. We want to use statistics. So here we are not looking at mean, median, mode, or deviation, or kurtosis or skewnesses. We don't have interest in that. So I'll go back. So I have, okay, and this chart shows that do you want to use charts to represent your analysis? Then I'll click yes. So it now depends on which charts you want to use. Do you want to use bar charts, pie charts, or histogram? Okay, let's go for bar charts. So if I click on bar charts, so are we using frequency or percentage? So in most cases, people use frequency. Or in the other way, you can choose to use percentage. But as for me, I prefer using percentage. So you see, I click on percentage, then you click on continue. So if you click on continue, the next thing is to just click on OK. So this is processing your output view, output window view, which is going to show us the charts of our descriptive analysis. So let's see. Now you can see that something will pop up now. We have this. This is our output view. If you look at the title bar, you see what is there, output 1. So you can rename it whenever you want to save it. So see what we have now. This is the descriptive statistics for our demographic information. So you see this frequency table, age, we have gender, we have marital status, we have occupation, then we have highest education level, we have average income, and this is the chart for each variable, each demographic information, because we said we want charts, and the charts we want is bar charts. So that's about the descriptive analysis. Then let's move to inferential analysis. Now, what can determine your inferential analysis is going to be in your chapter 3. So we don't know the statistical method. Although the statistical method, we have statistical method and statistical tools. I'm going to drop that in the comment section. So I want people to tell us and differentiate and give us an example between statistical method and statistical tools. But in your chapter 3, you are going to see the statistical method you want to use, because that is the framework and the methodology you want to use to carry out our analysis is going to be in your chapter 3. So let me go to the chapter 3 of this document. So let's go there. Okay, good. This is the chapter 1. So let's move to chapter 3. Sorry. So I'm under chapter 3 now. So I'd like you guys to see it. So I just want to see that I'm under chapter 3 before I move to the where I need my information. Okay. So you can see that this is chapter 3 and we have research, design, population. So I don't have interest in all those things when I want to do my inferential statistics. So where I'm going to now is method of data analysis. Which method do we want to use? You can see method of data analysis. So the method we are using is chi-square method. This chi-square method is adopted. You see, that's what I just want you to see. So let me go back to my analysis. So that means for this inferential analysis, I'm using chi-square. And you know that chi-square tests for association. So in our next video, we are going to do a video where that we are going to differentiate the difference between statistical tools and statistical method, whereby there a situation whereby you need to use chi-square, you need to use regression or correlation. That will be in the next video. So now let's move on. So now, after dealing with the descriptive statistics, now I'm going to the inferential. So, and the other information you need for your inferential statistics is the statistical or the research objective. So the research objective is going to be important to us here when we want to do our chi-square for inferential analysis. Now let me go to analyze again. So clicking on analyze, I'll still go to descriptive statistics. So this is using of chi-square. So after going to descriptive statistics, so under descriptive statistics, we are going to cross tab. So going to cross tab means we want to use chi-square. We are going to cross tab. We are going to cross tab. Oops, sorry. So we are going to cross tab. So clicking on, sorry, analysis, analyze, click on analyze, descriptive statistics. Okay, cross tab, click on cross tab. Now, here we go. Under this cross tab, you can see that we have row and columns. We have rows and columns. Rows and columns. So what we do here is, for simplicity, we are going to deal with one variable each. What am I saying? But it depends on how many research questions do we have in that question. And that is going to take me back to the chapter 1 of this client's project work. So let me go back to the chapter 1 so that I'll know the number of research questions I have. So let me move on. Let's move on. Let's move to the chapter 1 under research questions or research objective. Okay. Now, this is the research questions. The research question is here. Okay. The research question is here. So that means we have 3 research questions. And that shows that for me to have 3 research questions, I'm going to run inferential statistics for chi-square for these 3 research questions. The first one is telling us that how much do TV ads for Coca-Cola, Fanta, and Sprite make people want to buy them more? Make people want to buy them. Now, this is my research questions. Then I'll go to the variable inside my questionnaires, the question there. So I'll go to and look for 2 questions that associate or relate to these questions. Those are what is going to be in my row and column. I'm going to repeat myself because I'm dealing with chi-square now. So after you click on cross tab and it show you that and display that page for you where you have your row and column. So I need to export 2 variables. The first variable and the second variable that's going to be the row and column. So, and those variables must relate or be saying but or have the same meaning with what this research question or what this research question one is talking about. Okay, let's go. Now, the first question is, sorry, the first question is, how much do TV ads for Coke, Fanta, and Sprite make people want to buy more? So let me go back to, okay, let's look at the question that relates to that. So here we have, here we have, let me click on this. How frequency, let me see. I want to see this question very well. I'm going to need, okay, good. How frequency do you use social media? So it does not relate to what we talk about, how much TV adverts, understand. So let me look for this too. Trying to, I wanted to show me the full. So how often do you watch TV? So how often do you watch TV can be close related to what we are dealing with in the research question one. It can be close related to what we are dealing with in research question one. So here I'm going to export this because it relates to that. So let's look for another question that relates to research question here. So how much influence? Let me see this. I don't know. I'm not sure. The questionnaire is not in the art. Is not in the okay. How much influence do I couldn't say it finish. Sorry. Okay. How much influence do NBC advertising have on decision making to purchase? This one also go in line with the research question one. So you now see I've export two variables that go in line with research question one. Then once you've done that, let's see. I don't need any information here. So here we are dealing with chi-square. So you go to statistics. When you go to statistics, you click on chi-square. So you click on chi-square, then you click on continue. You know, we have chi-square, we have correlation. But the research method is chi-square. So you click on continue. So with that, you take display and you do what? You suppress the table. Then after that, once you have input the two variables that relates to the research question in the your client's work, then you export them, then you go to statistics and click on chi-square, then you display cluster bar chart, you click on suppress table, then you click on OK. So it's running the chi-square table now. Okay, this is the chart for the descriptive. So after descriptive, so this is the cross tab. This is the for chi-square. So you can see we have chi-square tests. We have chi-square test. This is the information that we can get for this. And this is the chart for the chi-square. For the two variables we are dealing with, you can see how much influence do NBC advertising have on you purchasing. So this information here, this three table here is for chi-square output window view. So you can see, and we still have two research objectives left. We have two research objectives left. Now, what you are going to do for me now, I'm going to give you a practice work. So what you will do, go, you go and, oh, you go and look for input view, and you are going to input a data in your variable view and a data view. Then try and use chi-square and form an objective to do this. So for my students, what you are going to do, I'm going to give you an assignment since you have this output, since you have the input window view. So what you are going to do for me now, you will practice on the two research questions we have and look for the associated questions and your questionnaire that associates with that research questions. Then you analyze it using crosstab. So that's the assignments I have for you now.